Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your December 1st to the 7th, 2019 general love reading. That's right, I'm doing weekly readings now. It's Keegan. I just wanted to take a moment just to say hello to you guys again, let you know that I am going to be back on camera for the second week of December. I actually just moved to a new state, and so life is still a little bit packed up in boxes, but I did want to sit down and do some readings because I've missed you guys. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We will do the weekly readings for the month of December, see what we think. I will be asking you guys for feedback on that. So if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, be sure that you subscribe. I'll do a poll on the community tab on the page, and you can only see that tab if you're subscribed to the channel. But I'll ask you guys what you think, if you like the weekly readings or if you want me to go back to bi-weekly. So you will have a chance to give feedback on that, so hopefully you will. But for now, we are going to do weeklies. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm thinking maybe the weeklies will allow me to connect with more of you guys along the way. Apologies if the table shakes a little bit. I'm trying to be very careful. I think everything just got loosened up a little bit during the move, and I just realized it when I was sitting down to record. And I don't necessarily want to go find the toolbox to deal with it and get out of the vibe of the energy. So apologies for that. So yeah, Cancer. We're going to start with the Oracle deck. Keep in mind this is a general reading. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here while I feel my way through this deck. I'm just going to pick some Oracle cards for you guys. So general readings are general. The energies can be reversed. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising signs. Crosswatchers are welcome to watch, but do so at your own risk. I don't hold back. But again, energies can be reversed. I also want to just say here at the top, if you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can send me an email, KeaghanTarot@gmail.com. I am booking up pretty quickly for December. End of the year is really busy. So if you have been thinking about getting a personal reading or you're interested in that, definitely send me an email to confirm your slot as soon as possible. Okay? So Cancers, let's go ahead and dive into this. I just want to see with the Oracle cards what's going on with you guys. And then we'll actually dive in with Tarot. I'm going to use my Rider-Waite deck for the reading. Okay? So let's see what we have here. Okay, so Cancer. First card out. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. We'll talk about this a little bit more in depth. You also got, there is a stream of love supporting my dreams. Final card out here, it says, through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. I like these cards for you, Cancer. So let's talk about this, okay? I'll say for water signs in general, very often we get stuck on what we think is best, what we think we want, what we think we need. And oftentimes we get in our own way. We block things that might be better for us, or we don't realize that there's something that is a better alternative, something that might be a little bit more aligned with what it is that we truly need. The universe is wanting to bring things into us that are actually for our best, for the ultimate good. Okay, so when you're sitting down and you're thinking about your life, you're thinking about things that you want to change, try not to get so bogged down in the by when and who it is, and really limiting. A lot of times people think that the more specific you are in those like notions of manifesting or visioning, the better. But the truth is, what you need to ask the universe for is for the thing that is actually designed to bring the most good into your life. Okay? Keep in mind that what it is that you want, there's so much love supporting it. There's so much that is energetically aligned to supporting your dreams. Okay? But you have to allow that stream to come in. And when you are too specific, when you're stuck on one particular path or one particular person, you're blocking a lot of the support that wants to come in. The other thing that this card, I love when this card comes out, because one of the things to keep in mind is that as you are focusing on your own prayers, your own meditations, trying to develop what it is that you want out of your life, what you want to bring into your life, you're actually also helping the collective. Because if you're wishing for the best good for everyone, the most good possible, that's including the people who are in your life, your own friends, your own family, and that starts to bring about peace for the collective. So this is a very beautiful start to your reading, Cancer. I'm just going to push these cards up. We're going to get the tarot deck. I'm going to give it a couple of shuffles and a few cuts now that I'm actually talking to you guys. How have you guys been? Did you survive your Thanksgiving? By the time that you see this, Thanksgiving will be over. So hopefully you had a good one. Family wasn't too stressful for you. I do know that sometimes this time of year can be a little bit hectic and stressful for people. So hopefully it wasn't too bad for you. I also just want to say hello. If you're returning, it's good to see you again. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy the reading. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a minute just to subscribe. Have the world card coming out there. It's upright. So it looks like there's some stuff that's closing out for you, Cancer. Let's see what else wants to come out around that. It could also mean that you're traveling. The world card can represent travel. This time of year, lots of people are traveling around. You guys gonna get quiet on me here at the beginning? Give me insight to Cancer. Here we go. What's going on for my Cancer viewers here? Any insight, information, guidance, support for Cancer? First week of December 1st through the 7th, 2019. All right, let's start with these. We'll clarify as we go. Okay. Very interesting cards coming out for you, Cancer. I actually like these cards. I think that, for the most part, this is good. I'm a little bit concerned about this card, but we'll get to it taking a look at the rest of these things, okay? I actually want to start here. Devil has come out reversed. I actually really love this card reversed. This is about limiting, releasing any sort of limiting beliefs that you have, and really diving into exploring like your dark side, the shadow side, looking at those dark thoughts, those dark emotions, some of the feelings that you have that are maybe not the best for you. This card is about actually dealing with those things and releasing them. I think that's what this world card is talking about. That's what's coming to a close here. I think for the Cancers who are watching this video that this is going to resonate with, you've really been doing a lot of exploration of your own self and sort of those darker corners that people tend not to take a look at, that they tend not to explore very much. That's a good thing, especially for water signs. Our emotions very often run very deep. And if we're not willing to go and explore those darker parts of those emotions, a lot of times they just start to take control and we don't really realize it. The other thing that I'm getting with these two cards together is there's definitely a sense of detachment. And that's not a bad thing. You have this Eight of Cups here, which is reinforcing this. This is about really sort of walking away from something, choosing to, if you look here, at one point there were 9 cups and this person has taken their cup and they've walked away from a situation. They've walked away. They've moved on from something. This definitely 100% shows me that you've been spending time figuring out what's best for you, what is not best for you, choosing what to take with you, what to leave behind. It's a great time of year to be doing that as well. I feel really good energy around this. I don't feel anything that feels negative. This card, like I said, this card's a little bit worrisome for me. So on the one hand, if I just put this card with this, I can say, well, this is good. This is about, choosing to be independent. This is about making sure that you have time by yourself. The other part to this, though, is, this card does have a couple of, negative meanings. This is the card that represents, a third-party situation. So for some of you, it could be that you recently discovered in a relationship that there was cheating going on. There was someone else. You could have been the third in a relationship and chosen that's not what you wanted to be dealing with and chosen to remove yourself from that situation. Again, that's not going to be for all of you, but it's definitely true for some of you. The other thing that I do sense here, this card can represent being in a place where you're just, partying too hard. So, if you are in this holiday season, you've been drinking too much, partying too much sex, too much food, or whatever, this card can just represent that, and be mindful of that. Don't try to deal with these feelings and emotions by, escaping from them. You really do need to confront them head on, deal with them. But I think for most of you, this does represent just being in a place of realizing you need your independence, closing out a lot of things, really choosing to walk away from things that aren't serving you anymore, and dealing with a lot of those darker things that you realize have been causing you problems or have been obstacles in your life. So I'm actually really happy with these cards first coming out. I do want to take a look first at this Devil card reversed. I just want to see if anything wants to come out to clarify it. I mean, it's pretty clear cut, but I want to see if anything does just want to come out. I'll go through one more time after this. That card really wanted to come out. Let's see what it is. Okay, so you have the Emperor coming out reversed. This is interesting. So Cancers, for some of you, the thing that you've realized that you need to deal with, that you need to confront, it would be around anger or control issues, being fairly inflexible in your life and realizing that you need to allow for some flexibility, some vulnerability to come in, that you need to deal with your anger, confront your anger. And again, that's really good. That's awesome energy to be dealing with, especially as we're coming to, I can't believe it's December and we're closing out a year, but coming to the end of the year, looking back on things and realizing that maybe your anger has been maybe a bit out of control. Maybe you've been mad about things that you're ready to just let them go. You're ready to heal from them. You're ready to move on from them. That's a really great thing. I'm going to skip over here. I'm curious about this Three of Cups. I just want to see what else comes out here, because I would like to get a little bit clear about what that means for you. Again, I definitely think for some of you there was a third-party situation. Yeah. So coming out clarifying that, we have the Seven of Cups here. You know, this does represent a situation in which someone has ample opportunities. There are choices to be made. The other part to this that I want to touch on is a lot of times when the Seven of Cups comes out, especially in a card that could potentially have some negative connotations to it, it represents being in a situation where it's very important, it's vital for you to make sure that you're not wearing like rose-colored glasses. Your thinking isn't being too optimistic so that it's unrealistic, or there could be a little bit of illusion going on here. So again, I do feel for some of you, it's an escapism type of energy. You're trying not to deal with this, but for most of you, I feel like you're over here. Some of you are over here, and I just want to urge you to actually go in, take a look at these things, be willing to dive deep and close these things out and walk away from things that aren't serving you anymore, because that's going to be the best path for you ultimately. But this could represent a situation in which, you know, you were juggling. It's weird because what I'm actually getting here is that for the third party people, I'm actually feeling for the majority of you, it wasn't necessarily that you were cheated on. I feel like you were the third person. And with this card coming out, with it being, you know, that notion of like rose-colored glasses or the illusion, it could be potentially that you didn't know you were a third party. You didn't know that someone was involved with someone else, and you found that out. You got really angry, but then you decided to actually just deal with this, walk away from it, close it out, be done with it. Okay? Let's take a look at this Eight of Cups. Well, that just wanted to come right out. Yeah. Four of Cups here. This, again, is just saying you've walked away. You've chosen to pull your energy in. You're just thinking about things. You're contemplating them. You're reevaluating things. This card actually does represent Cancer. So that's just coming out confirmation for me that I'm on track with you guys. That card seems to want to be over there, so we'll take a look at it and see what it is. King of Swords. This represents truth. This is very, very intense mental clarity, getting very clear about a situation. Truth coming out. Again, I'm feeling like whether that is truth about yourself, really coming to terms with things that you need to work on, areas where you need to grow and develop yourself, things that you need to close out that have been causing problems for you in your life. This would be cycles of things where you're looking at back and you're seeing patterns and you're wanting to close those things out and deal with them. But it is good because you're taking the time to do that. You're really centering your energy, getting rooted in something that feels, to me at least, as being healthy, and it doesn't feel overwhelming. I'm not feeling any sort of, it's almost like you're working through some really heavy stuff, but it feels good to be doing that. It doesn't feel like, for most of you at least, it doesn't feel like this is something that's causing you a lot of pain. I feel like for a lot of you, you're just getting so much relief right now because you're realizing the truth of situations, whether that is about a third-party situation or, again, just about yourself. You're realizing the truth. You're accepting that truth. You're taking the time to deal with it, and you're closing things out. You're walking away from things that have been holding you back or causing problems. Okay? Let's take a look at this King of Swords. This reading's being fairly straightforward, which is good, but I want to see, maybe we can see what this truth is about. See what wants to come out to clarify this King of Swords. Again, I'm keeping these readings fairly short. So they're not going to be my mega long 45-minute to an hour readings, because I'm going to be doing weekly readings throughout the month of December. So just keep that in mind. We're looking at the first week here. There's only so much you can process in a week. Finish going through, see if anything else wants to come out to clarify this King of Swords. Ooh, I think that was 2 cards that jumped out. They definitely wanted to be over there. Very interesting here. Wow. Okay, let's talk about this. So we have the Magician and the High Priestess coming out here. Now, typically in the deck, this would be, you know, a pair, but this High Priestess has come out reversed. So, and we have Temperance as the other card that's coming out. You know, Temperance is all about that middle path. It's about balance, moderation, patience in a situation. I feel like they're, for, you know, this is a love reading. So in this situation, this pair, and keep in mind, energies can be reversed. Okay. So what I'm actually feeling here, though, is, you know, Cancers, I'm feeling that this Magician is what's representing you. I feel that you were really in a place where you were wanting to manifest something. You were wanting to create a particular type of life, have a particular type of relationship, and the person that you were in that with was just not aligned with you. I think that this other person had a lot of secrets. I think that they've most likely disconnected from you. This would be a situation where there probably isn't communication going on right now. The High Priestess reversed is silent. She doesn't speak. She's pulled back her energy completely. Let's take a look at these two. I think that with Temperance there, it's just coming out to say that you, Cancer, really wanted to try to make this work, but this other person, let's take a look at this High Priestess. I'm really happy the Magician did not come out reversed. That card always freaks me out when it's reversed. So let's take a look at the High Priestess, see what's going on here. Why is the High Priestess reversed for Cancer? Keep in mind also, energies are fluid. So for some of you, this might be what just happened. Others of you, this might be something that's revealed to you during that first week of December. Some of you, this is just confirmation of some feelings or suspicions that you have about this person. Tell me about the High Priestess. Why is the High Priestess reversed? King of Wands. That's interesting. Anything else wants to come out before I talk too much about that? Yeah. Okay. So you have the King of Wands coming out with the Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay. This card for me is a card of, it can represent greediness, but it also can represent the energy of self-protection. I feel like this High Priestess, I just don't think they're ready to settle down yet. I don't think that they were ready to have this type of balanced relationship where they're really full, like all in. Okay. But I do think that they definitely felt this connection of what could be, but ultimately they still want to be in a place where they're kind of having fun. They weren't ready to settle down. They weren't ready for this level of commitment. There is a certain amount of, self-protective energy, and it's not necessarily Cancer that you did anything that made them feel threatened. The relationship, the connection itself is what made them feel threatened. That is the thing that made them feel like they needed to pull away. I don't necessarily sense any sort of huge fight about this. Again, for those of you who had this third-party situation, my guys are telling me just to mention this. Again, like I said, I feel like most of you were the ones that realized you were the third party. And it could be that this person felt threatened, that this relationship might become exposed. This person felt like they needed to go back to what, you know, where they were before. They needed to deal with that. You know, with this King of Wands coming out, you know, this is a match for another person. You know, the Magician is a match for this High Priestess. I'm going to switch decks. I just want to take a look really quickly. Which deck do I want to use? I'm going to use my Mystic Monday deck here. I just want to take a look just at this area here, this connection. See what wants to come out. See if we can get any insight into like what that High Priestess is thinking, what's going on there. It's interesting because for most of you, having the Eight of Cups, I feel like for those of you who this is resonating, you've decided to be done with this. There's definite energy. The World card is closing. Eight of Cups is walking away. There's the truth of the situation coming out here. So I don't think for most of you listening, you're really connected to this anymore. But it's interesting because I still feel a vibe here about. I'm gonna move these cards out of my way. There's still something here. I just want to see what wants to come out. Clarifying this Magician and the High Priestess's connection. Eight of Swords coming out upright. This is that victim card. Feeling like you're trapped, feeling like you can't make any sort of movement, but really you're totally able to do it. Two of Swords. Yeah, this wasn't an easy choice for you. You also have the Princess of Wands. This is a Page of Wands coming out as well. You know what? Here's what I'm getting, Cancer, with this. For this High Priestess, whether you're resonating with this High Priestess or not, for me as the reader, I feel like the Magician is what's representing Cancer. But again, energies can be reversed in a general reading, so you might feel like you're more the High Priestess. I'm going to explain the High Priestess here. This person is someone who's they're a fairly free-spirited person. I think the notion of commitment and being tied down is a little bit overwhelming for them. They felt trapped. They felt like this relationship was too intense, too serious. They weren't ready for it. They weren't capable of existing in it. They weren't able to have this balance that I think, the Magician was seeking here. Ultimately, it could have been them that chose to walk away. Again, energies can be reversed. I do feel more so that that ultimate decision to end this and walk away was from Cancer. But again, they could have been the one that, made that choice. But this High Priestess, they felt stifled, they felt trapped. But what's interesting, this card represents someone being too in their head. This is, mental imprisonment. It doesn't represent the reality of the situation. The truth of the situation is that this relationship could have a lot of potential. This relationship could be something that's, very divinely matched. But this High Priestess has to, be upright. They have to be able to see that and feel it and trust their intuition and be willing to dive into it. This Two of Swords coming out to me is saying that, where this relationship ended up, it had to end. There wasn't another option. But it wasn't something that was easy for either of the people that were involved here. I feel like both for the Magician and the High Priestess, there's a lot of intense feelings of, what could have been, regret about it, really wanting to, this devil energy, that's what all that is. Really taking a look at it and realizing, it feels like so close, but not yet, or wrong timing. The right person at the wrong time. That's what I'm getting here. I think that's what I might actually call this. The right person at the wrong time. It feels very much like timing is off here. This person needs to deal with a lot of things, potentially even close out a different relationship. You might need to close out a different relationship, Cancer. But there is a lot of potential here for these two people if they do deal with, this energy and this anger and the controlling aspect of it. Let things close out, really work on themselves. There is potential here in the future for things to work for these two people because they are, a pair. They are a pair that are meant to be. But right now things are standing in the way, and I feel like a lot of it is on this High Priestess just feeling like it was too intense and they could not make the choice to commit. They could not make the choice to commit. I'm going to go through one more time with this deck, see if anything else wants to come out. I feel like that really wraps this up. Again, we're looking at 7 days here, so there's only so much that we can cover. Nine of Cups coming out upright. So interesting because this is that wish come true. I think that this is saying like you were so close. Like it was so close to having that 10, but then it just didn't happen. It didn't materialize. But again, there's so much potential here with these two people, but it's going to require that they take some time apart, that they figure things out, they deal with whatever needs to be dealt with, closed out, if there is another person that's involved here. It'll be interesting to see what comes out for the second week and throughout the rest of the month for you guys, because again, this feels like a good reading, but obviously this was, so close. I just feel, I keep getting that it was so close, so close, but something just, it blocked it. I don't want to get too specific because, again, these are general readings and I don't want to start treating this like a personal reading. In a personal reading, I would dive much more in depth with this and try to figure out exactly what happened. But I think for those of you listening, if you're still listening to me, you can overlay your own story onto this and make it make sense for you. But again, these two people, there's so much potential and it was so close this time. It was so close, but it couldn't materialize, it couldn't happen. And I feel like it was, on this side, it was because of the anger, this stuff that needed to be dealt with. On this side, there was, it does feel very strongly of, being connected to somebody else, having, another commitment, somebody being in a relationship already and not being able to choose this one quite yet. Lots of truth had to come out and be understood about this connection. um, but yeah, for those of you still listening to me, don't give up on this person. Obviously, don't put your life on hold. Don't just, be in a situation where you're just stuck. You need to move on with your life. You need to move forward. You need to start dealing with things that you need to deal with, finding your own happiness. But this is not something that I feel is totally done. This is not something that I feel is totally closed out, just because there are too many cards here that are showing, you know, the reasons that this decision was made to end this. They weren't necessarily the reality of the situation. They were very much mental things that were getting in the way, or there was another person that needed to be, another relationship, another connection that needed to be closed out, or that this person ultimately chose to go back to that connection to explore it. But these two people are the ones that are aligned. These two people, they should be able to make this work. But for right now, it's not aligned, and it's definitely something that's, I feel, is in a place of no communication. So, Cancers, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's I think we're at like 26, 27 minutes. So, you know, fairly decent length. I'm not going to push it any further because I don't want you guys spending hours of your life during the holidays listening to me. Honestly, I'm going to try to keep these relatively short. But definitely give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if it resonated with you. I love hearing comments from you guys about, what rang true, what's going on with you. If you would like to explore this more deeply, you can email me, KeaghanTarot@gmail.com, for a personal reading. I do have a few slots left for December, but I am filling up relatively quickly. End of the year is really busy for personal readings. So, Cancers, take care of yourselves. I really hope that this starts to resolve. I would love to see these two people find their way back to each other honestly, because they have so much potential. So hopefully some of this energy will clear over the readings that we do in December. And by the end of the month, maybe communication will be back. Maybe there'll be some coming back together for these two people, because I'm drawn to this. This Nine of Cups just keeps sticking out. You were so close to having that Ten of Cups, and something just blocked it. Something got in the way. But there's still so much potential here. I just have to say that. And I normally don't say that in readings. If you've watched my readings, I tend not to go that specific. But I just feel it so strongly energetically. There was so much potential here, but it couldn't yet materialize. It was the right person at the wrong time. I just keep hearing that. So, Cancers, love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with you guys next week for the second week of December. Interested to see how these weekly readings go. Bye, guys.